Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and this is The Road to the Record, where I work to achieve mastery of 10 games and I'll hunt for the best score of the decathlon. If you like what you see, remember to hit that like button. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. Let the games begin. This is Motorsport Manager. I almost said Pro Cycling Manager, I've played that a lot. It's Motorsport Manager, and it's episode number 9 here in the series. And we are heading into our next race, which is Spa-Francorchamps here in game, aka the Ardennes GP. It's round 9 of 16 here on the race calendar, and we are all set to go. So it looks like we're ultras, super softs, and mediums are the compounds available. Not a massive difference between the ultras and the super softs, so we may look to the middle compound in this case. Now, there's a big jump between the super softs and the mediums, so very little chance that we would go with mediums for the race tire. There are some new parts available, so let's see what can be done with them. It's a new set of brakes, and you can see at this point they're not done yet. They're still upgrading. They've got a long ways to go till they're at max. The older set of brakes that we put on last time are now maxed out, so Vern has those. So let's go ahead and upgrade Ocon to the other brakes. They're the medium set now, but eventually they're going to be the stronger one. And hey, look at that. We are finally in a position where both cars are better than Felipe Massa's car for the Alpine team. So he's finally down to 24th, Ocon up to 23rd, and Vern is still 22nd. .49 lap race. Pretty lengthy one for what is the, at least in F1, is the longest track on the circuit. And while there's subtle alterations, this one's fairly close to accurate for the course. And by the way, I know there's a lot of chatter. There's been a lot of chatter for years going, when is the next Motorsport Manager console / computer edition coming out? They've already had 3 mobile games in between the release of this and the last, and it's now been quite a while since they've done any sort of updates for this one. And this was way more popular than their 3 mobile games. However, what I have learned reading closely was that the reason for the mobile games is to generate the funds necessary to do the second Motorsport Manager. This one, unfortunately for them, didn't generate the revenue necessary to really offset the costs with it that they needed in order to get to the next edition. It still generated way more revenue than the mobile games, but apparently it cost a lot more to produce. So we are looking at mostly a wet race weekend. It's damp right now. We're going to go out on the intermediates, try to get our triple bonus there, and maybe it'll dry out just over halfway, and we'll be able to try to get another compound going. But for, what was that, 49 laps? The super softs would be the way to go for that. I don't know how much of a difference we'd get between the super softs and the ultras, and we're almost certainly looking at rain during the race itself. The mediums won't quite make it all the way, at least not for Ocon. So yeah, we could really end up on any compound, and the intermediates might be the way to go, as we're most likely going to see that rain. Looks like the downforce is going to be just this side, but I'm not going to change Ocon's downforce yet. I just need to remember to push left, push right, and push left. let's switch you to the race trim. Let's get that taken care of first. These are longer laps, so I don't know how far we're going to get on that portion of our setup here initially. So Vern heads out on the track. Ocon's got to switch over, so it'll be a little bit longer for him. But we'll get both guys coming in now. I see that took almost 2 full minutes on that outlap. Over 2 full minutes on that outlap. Oof. Okay, we've got 1 purple right off the bat for Jean-Eric Verne, and he's at 93%. This is good. This is very good. Okay, now the handling, probably towards the oversteer side, so let's try to work on that. And we can come back. I can come back to this later. I'm gonna save time right now by not adjusting that. We'll adjust it back. I know we didn't just get the setup perfect in 1 round, so we're definitely coming back in again. Let's try the handling here. There we go. Same thing. I'll adjust them both back. Yellow flag. I love it. This mod gives you that in practice. It never happens in the regular game. Okay, well, this didn't go so well. We went the wrong way with almost everything. We were great, now we're good. So downforce needs to come back the other way. We were good, now we're okay, so that needs to come back the other way. And then we did have excellent before, and we're close to it. I think we could just about get that right here. Pretty much spot on. Okay, I'm gonna let him run for a while because I think that was gonna put us really close. We were already in the low 90s, we just went the wrong direction is all. Ocon stays at 93%, making the same mistake. So downforce is spot on, but we went the wrong way on the handling, so we need to get back to some understeer here. With Eau Rouge, I'd be terrified of that, but okay. And his very small speed balance change actually is still got him in a happy zone, so we don't have to change it. And they head out together. Kvyat has spun. So here in the weather, here in the wet weather, there's plenty of action happening out on track. And actually we've hit full soak. So Kvyat just spun again. I'm surprised my guys have not spun here. See the tire heating, at least where it's fully wet. We're not earning very quickly on our bonuses, but now the track's down to wet, it's starting to pick back up, and yes, it will dry out. So let's try to get that level 3 bonus and then bring these guys in. Okay, let's slow it down. I think we'll be able to bring them in this lap, but I'm hoping we actually get that bonus prior to the end of the lap. Slow down a little more, make sure it's happening. Bring in, bring in. Oh, Vern didn't make it in. Vern didn't make it in. %. The handling's actually still not perfect, but that's okay. So, qualifying entry. 3 laps. And that means we're going to work on the ultras. We're going to lose 2 whole minutes here for Vern, so this sucks. They were so close to the edge. That's why I slowed it down. But yeah, setup's good. Setup is good. Odd thing here, Vern has 3 purples, but he's at 98. Ocon has 2 purples and is at 99. So Ocon's 1% is missing there. We're missing it. Yeah, strange how that works sometimes, but it does. It does. It's not crazy. Qualifying trim, 3 laps, good. Okay. And now we're just going to go out and get whatever else we can get for bonuses. Ain't supposed to be done. Level 1 bonuses. Push just a little here. Ocon getting ready to come in. He's currently in P15 with just over a minute to go. We'll send him out right away. Okay, we got to level 2 bonus. That's as far as we got though. Hamilton fastest in practice. And that's on the medium compound. Of course, everybody really only got the 1 run. $15 and $17 is pretty dang good. Drive for qualifying, at least starting out. So we'll go for the ultras. We'll try to get them out there right away, just in case. So my first lap, I'm going to send both cars right away, just in case. Give them just a few seconds gap. There you go. Up through Eau Rouge there for Vern. Try to get the tires all the way up where they need to be temperature wise and then do what I did last time. Back off. And we'll do that now. Temperatures are not cooling at all though. All these braking sections. It's apparently a really hard track to get that balance right. Oh, I even had the tire temps a hair too high. No rain. No rain, at least not until possibly the last 2 minutes. Now, Vern's got a little bit of clear air here. Ocon. Well, Ocon was purple for Sector 1. Vern goes faster, but of course we're going to start seeing times from others. We're the first 2 to have a Sector 1 time. Hamilton now obviously takes that away from us. So how slow are we compared to Hamilton? Sector 1, where it's all about power. Vern is 8/10 behind. Ocon's a full second behind. Ocon's a half second down from Vern's time. through Sector 2. 1.6 down from Hamilton, 2.2 down from Hamilton. It's a long lap, so inside 3 seconds still could beat out some other cars. 1.2 seconds separating Vern and Ocon, so the extra power of Vern's engine really making a difference because these two cars are almost equal to each other now. Ocon's got a couple advantages that gets him within range, but definitely a power vacuum. Kvyat just 2/10 ahead of Vern, so Vern's actually put in a really good time here. So Giovinazzi, Norris, both slower. So Vern's got a pretty solid time here, a time that I think will be enough to get out of Q1, potentially, or at least for now. There's more grip coming, so a second run could change this. Ocon, slowest of all. Ouch. He's got that lower engine. He might have a better car than Massa in general, but he does not have the engine power that Massa has. Okay, now, we're talking a good 2+ minutes to get around on these out laps. So we need to make sure we don't wait too long to send these guys out again, but I do want to wait till pretty late and send them both out. Maybe 2.5 minutes. So Ocon is slowest, and Vern was outside of a time good enough to get outside of Q1, but only just, so it's not quite as good as I thought it would be. I thought like Albon would be behind us maybe. Kubica clearly has the better car between him and Russell. They've got the two drivers rated the same. Kubica's consistently been ahead of Russell in game. In real life, it's been the opposite by far. Okay, coming up on that 2.5 minute mark, we've already got cars heading out again. Cancel that real quick. Let that Alpine go. Oh, come on. It's gonna get out of my way. We need to go. Hey, everybody's starting to head out right now. Alright, so Ocon heading out. He does not have the auto on. Heads up through Eau Rouge. We're going to talk about Antoine Hubert and what happened. Partway through the race anyway. For now, let's focus on our qualifying. Okay, it's heated. Now let's cool them down. It's not doing enough to cool the brakes through here. Perfect! Hey, we nailed it. Okay. Ocon ready to start his final flying lap. We've got 35 seconds. Here comes Vern, so he's a little overheated on the brakes, but otherwise that's a good setup for him as well. Both cars going well. There's Eau Rouge as we go through. Track's still dry. It's still sunny, so we're good. We'll see how we're looking. Green Sector 1 for Ocon. Faster than he was before. Vern is white in Sector 1. He's down just a little bit on his time from before. Time's up. It's all the back markers, top 14, none of them are out on course. Norris is not out on course, so Norris is already out of this race. Can we do better and bump Norris out of the way? Kvyat's done, did not improve his time. Ocon is definitely looking to improve his time. He is faster than Vern right now on this lap, which means Vern's done. Vern's not going to improve his time. Ocon does, but he gets up to 19th. So close to getting out of Q1, but he's not going to make it. So it looks like 19:21 because Massa is not improving his time. There you go. Bottas quickest in Q1. Hamilton with a bit of a mistake there, only 5th fastest. Raikkonen does better than Gasly in the first qualifying session. And while we're there on the cusp of escaping Q1, we still eliminated. Alright, so we're going to talk more in detail again during the race, but here briefly, as Hamilton goes quickest, then Vettel, and then they're going to go out for their second laps here. Maybe? No, these guys are not coming back out, so Vettel's faster lap stands. This section right here, it's a hill. You have a downhill, and then you bottom out, and then you have an uphill, and then it gets less steep. So it starts really steep and then gets less steep. It's corner section known as Eau Rouge, and it's flat out. And you have multiple elevation changes, so it unsettles the car. Sometimes really badly. And so for no apparent reason at all, cars will often suddenly spin out as they go through that section because there was no braking, they're at full speed, and then the differences in air, we'll talk about that in a second, but cars will spin out. A few weeks back, more than a month, less than 2 now, the time that you're watching this, not necessarily from the time that I'm recording this. I record these in groups and sets, and this is the last of a set of recordings that I'm making here. But in the F2 race, right, that second tier, which of course we're in the top tier here in this series in this month, game does have that second series. Second lap of the race, so they just started the race, you just go around and get started, and then there's Eau Rouge right there. So down the hill and up you go. So as you go through this sequence of corners, which the real track is slightly different than how it looks here, but you get the same basic premise, the downhill, the uphill, and then less uphill levels off a bit as you go along. And we are, hold on, close. Let's get ready for the race. We have rain early, but it's not going to last long. We definitely want to be on the intermediates. So interesting where that's going to put us, and whether the rain comes back, I don't know. But let's take the intermediate bonus. It's the only one I'm certain of. And we only have a 10% ultra soft bonus. I don't know what tires I'm going to end up going on after we come out of it. So let's look for a strong start to this race. And here's to hoping that this is not the only rain we get in the race, that it doesn't clear up by lap 13, 14, and then we go the whole rest of the race dry with only a race trim bonus. That would be really unfortunate. Now, these tires should last a lot of laps. A good 36, 37 laps. Most of the race. So we can actually push them pretty hard, but of course they aren't as effective when you only push and actually end up overheating them. They will degrade a lot faster, but you're not going to really get the effect if you're outside of the tire heating range. Okay, well, F2 race, there was a crash that led to the death of Antoine Hubert. So we'll talk a little bit about that as the race goes on. But for now, we need to get our race started. It is Sebastian Vettel on the pole, Hamilton second, Bottas third. They're out on ultras? Really? I get it, it's unlocked that you get the choice of tire. Perez on ultras. 3 drivers on ultras. I think those guys are going to lose a lot of time. And I don't think they're going to win this race. 5 red lights. Here we go. We ride with Ocon. Ocon, he gets a good start, but he tucks in way too early. He could have stayed to the right side there and moved up some more. And here comes the spray as we go through Eau Rouge for the first time, and Ocon back up to P19. Vern right behind him. And Vern finds some space to the outside and shoots through up to P16. Nice move by Jean-Eric Vern there. And he continues to move forward. He is fighting for P14 right now. Now fighting for P15. Now he's again fighting for P14 with Toro Rosso. Vern really finding some good pace to start this race off as we're most of the way through lap number 1. Oh, get to the inside. A little late getting to the inside. Now you're going to give up that space. Sandwiched by the Toro Rosso, but somehow still finding his way through. Fended off one, now fends off the other, and now has a look to go around the racing point of Sergio Perez. He'll tuck it in 14th though. Ocon, decent start. He's in 20th. Essentially the same spot he started in, minus the position to Vern. And Verstappen has crashed. Verstappen has crashed. He is the first car out of this race right at the end of lap 1. Start of lap number 2. And he has crashed out. Alright, well, here's a quick rundown of what happened with Max Verstappen. Gasly's got an issue. He is going to be pitting. Alonso has an issue. Alonso given a drive-through penalty for causing a collision. Gasly going backwards because of he is got a puncture from that collision. Ocon battling with Kubica for position here. And also battling the other Williams. That's Russell, actually. It's Kubica ahead of him. Kubica's gotten clear. Now Russell trying to make his way around. But we need to back off before we get overheated here. Gasly and Alonso losing a ton of time going backwards. Both on pit road. Both going to fix some problems. And I don't think that this is going to count. They're still going to have a drive-through penalty after this. Ocon's wing is broken. His wing is broken, so we're going to have to pit here early. I kind of want to wait, run the risk, because lap 12 is only 9 laps away. And if we pit then, and the wing lasts that long, then we can fix it at that point. Had a collision with Russell. No action taken, luckily, but it did damage our wing. So we hit Russell's car who's behind us, and it somehow damaged our front wing. That's a strange one, but okay. Let's go ahead and back off a little bit now, though. Let's go into fuel-saving mode for a while. We'll see how bad the drive is. For now, Ocon does not seem to be losing any pace. He's holding his position nicely. Meanwhile, Vern is now hitting that heavy zone, so it's time for him to back off. He's comfortably in 12th. The gap is behind him to 13th. He's right on the tail end of Raikkonen, and yes, you can see that Perez going backwards on the Ultras. Vettel going backwards on the Ultras. He's dropped from pole position to 9th place. Hamilton on the Ultras still somehow out front. There's Vettel continuing to go backwards, and Vern is up to 10th now. Hulkenberg cleared of an incident. Gasly, Magnussen having problems. They're putting on the Ultras. And that's the thing. You don't want to come in this early and then come out on the intermediates. So that's why Ocon, we are trying to wait. It's a risky move because he's at 19% on that wing, but it's not so badly damaged. You can see that the Williams is still, that's Russell. That's still, we're battling for position. He's moved back one single position, so I prefer to be on the correct tire right now as opposed to, you know what, I'm just going to have you push. I am just going to have you push because you're going to pit awfully soon, and those tires, they don't really matter at this point if they're overheated. They're just going to wear quickly, right? So, Perez, Vettel still going backwards. Hamilton now starting to drop. He's down to 4th place. Still at 19%. Magnussen pitting. Verstappen's still the only car out of the race here on lap number 5, but getting plenty of action. We're going to go only ×2 speed with all this action taking place. Ocon now trying to get around Vettel. From P18, Ocon making a move and getting around the Ferrari up to P17. Those guys are absolutely on the wrong compound. It is costing them a ton of time. So Bottas into the race lead. Ricciardo in P2. Leclerc is P3. Sainz, Hülkenberg. Alright, so here's what happened. Leclerc just crashed. Never mind. This is not time to talk about that. Ocon is definitely going to pit now. We have 43. It'll be 42 laps remaining. Let's stick with 43 laps to go. 43. The mediums could get us to the end of the race, but I think there's way too big of a gap. We need to be on either the ultras or the super softs. The ultras won't quite get us there, but we could use ultras now. And then if something happens, safety car slows us down again, tires last a bit longer, maybe we'll be within 20. Otherwise, we'll have to go super softs to the end. But I think maybe we do the super softs now and then come in for the ultras later in the race. Ooh, no, the rain is coming back. The rain is coming back on lap maybe 26, 27. So 26, so about 20 laps away. The rain is coming back. So the ultras will get us about 20 laps. Give or take. We're going to fix that wing. Yeah, it's an extra 6 seconds, but time to fix that wing. Oh, it's virtual safety car. Ooh, that's going to hurt. Might not be time to pit just yet then. I think we're going to cancel. We're going to cancel. Cancel the pit. Cancel the pit. But we know our tactic now. Virtual safety car over, so yes, good time to cancel that pit. It's not time to come in yet. We are down to 14%. So Ocon in 16th. He has lost that position to Russell, but otherwise he's hanging in there. He's hanging in there. Vern is up to P9 now, and he is behind the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton, and this is a race for position. Neither car has pit, but Hamilton is on the wrong tire compound, and Vern gets around just before Eau Rouge, and he's up to P8. Oh, that wasn't Eau Rouge. That was the start-finish line. There's Eau Rouge. Tire is burning up quick, but I don't care. They're giving us a little push. And Hamilton just had a problem. He's getting a drive-through penalty for causing a collision. If I were him, I would be so mad on the radio right now. And well, look at that. We are about to lap an Alpine of Alonso, who's out on the Ultras. We're lapping Fernando Alonso. Yes. Oh, this race really has a chance to go our way strategy-wise. I mean, we are comfortably inside the top 10 right now. Ocon, how we looking? 14% still. We are just churning right through these tires because they are way too hot. It is okay. It is okay. We're pushing. I think it's given us good lap times. Not as good as they could be, but the pace is definitely, it's still good. Pace is good. It's not our fastest laps because they're too hot. We're kind of out of the zone, but they are better than neutral, I think, the way we're running. Big gap from Vern, though. Vern to 7th? Nowhere in sight. Well, there they are. Way up the hill already. So 7th place is Raikkonen. And then you got Stroll, Hulkenberg, Grosjean, Sainz, Ricciardo, and Bottas at the front. That's a group that's definitely out of our league. Behind us is Giovinazzi, Kvyat, Norris, Albon, Kubica, and then Russell. That's our wheelhouse, and Ocon's in it right now. He's hanging in there, despite the busted wing, despite the issues, 14%. Lap 10, the rain is slowing down. The rain is slowing down, and it's going to start to fade away here pretty soon. And then we're going to put on ultras and race for a good while before the rain comes back. There, intermediates will get us to the end, depending on what happens with the weather. So Ocon's still hanging on pretty well. Down to 6%. I need to get him in. He's going to pit this lap. Ocon's going to pit this lap, so it's time. The track's still wet, but it's going to dry out here pretty quick, and we can't risk the DNF at this point. So Ocon, big sacrifice. He's going to lose a little bit of time on this, but it's time. Verne's definitely staying out another lap or two. But we'll see the track dry out pretty quick, so this isn't going to be too bad for Ocon. It's already drying out. Alright, here we go. Ocon into the pits. It's going to be a long stop because we've got to repair this front wing. That's a good stop, though. That is a really good stop. And by the way, 7.2 seconds. What I did was I had to basically reset the entire crew to give guys a break. Because remember, we had that mistake in the last race. Okay, it's lap 13. We're down to damp. I want to run one more lap for Verne. So Verne, you're going to run one final lap here, and you're going to pit. So it's only 2 laps early, and this lap, you can see it's down to just damp. It won't be that bad. So Ocon's going to be fine on his time. We'll see. He started a new lap here, so we'll see how his pace compares as soon as he gets through Sector 1. Right now, Verne's 0.3 up on pace. 4.5 seconds up on pace for Ocon. So yeah, it's definitely time to pit. Verne's in. 5 seconds up on pace. Okay, Verne comes out P14. Albon has switched to the mediums in P15. Ocon is P16. Vettel, still on the ultras, is P17, 12 seconds behind Ocon. His tires are not going to last until the next time the rain comes. And it looks like tire heating is going to be an issue on these ultras. Ocon's run neutral the entire time, and he's starting to overheat. Here's Massa. We're going to be a lot faster than Massa. There you go, up to P13. So as long as these guys stay out, they are going to lose a lot of time. Right now, this is really benefiting us. We are 1 and 3 of those that are now on the correct compound. And unlike a lot of them, we have not lost considerable time. Alonso, 243 seconds behind the race leader. Bottas pitting right now. And they're all pitting. They are all pitting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars in, 7 cars in. Alonso trying to get a lap back. 8 cars in, 9 cars in, 10, 11 cars in. Everybody ahead of Verne is pitting. Verne now up to P8. Ocon also gaining positions up to P13. Back to neutral. Back off. Go ahead and go high fuel mode, though. You've got some fuel to burn. Ocon drops to 14th as George Russell gets past him. So he's come right back out with Russell now. And Vettel is catching up to Ocon. That's Vettel behind. But Vettel still has yet to pit. He's definitely going to be faster than us right now, but his tires are very used and he will have to pit soon. And the rain is going to be short-lived. Ooh, that rain is short-lived. That's the kind of shower that you maybe stay out on, like on the medium compound, and not actually come in. It's not going to get that wet. It's only going to be at the right amount of water on track to gain time by using the intermediates. It's only going to be in that position for maybe 2 or 3 laps. Vettel gets past. Ocon drops to 15th. But again, Vettel will pit before long. Meanwhile, Jean-Eric Vergne holding true in 8th place. Let's get Ocon back off here. We want these tires to last as long as they're going to last. I think we're going to be going to the super softs for the rest of the race. We'll have 1 pit stop to make. That's my estimation anyway. Okay, let's back off. Let's back off, save some fuel for later, guys. How are we looking? Race leader is Valtteri Bottas. He's got a ways to go before he gets into lapping territory. Outside of Alonso. Alonso is the one of 2 cars a lap down. He's 2 laps down. Alonso is 2 laps down. Magnussen is 1 lap down. Hamilton's in 20th position after that collision and already being on the wrong tire compound. So Hamilton's in 20th. He's going to fight through the field. He's got Gasly 1 second ahead. Perez is going to pit soon. Vettel's going to pit soon. Those guys never pit but didn't have Hamilton's problem. Those were the 3 on the incorrect compound at the start of the race. So Vergne holding steady in 8th, but Giovinazzi is getting closer. But we're not really losing ground to those in front of us because of the tire compound. So Vergne going pretty quickly here. He's got a real chance at staying in the points today. And we'll see if these guys make a quick pit stop to put on intermediates and then have to switch right back 3 laps later. This could go really, really well for us during that stretch of time. Ocon defending against Kubica now. He's dropped back a few seconds from where Russell is, who's a little off that pace. Vettel should be pitting here any moment, as should Perez. Not this lap. Perez, not this lap. Magnussen, probably not yet. It's going to be a while before he pits still. He's at 35%. Perez is at 24%, so he's about to go over a cliff. Vettel's at 25%, so these guys maybe 1 more lap if they're not coming in this lap. He's coming up on Lando Norris, and he makes a move for 12th position despite the used tires and at 22%. But he will drop off the cliff here once he goes under 20. So we should expect to see him pitting this lap. Yellow flag, Lando Norris just spun, so after the anguish of being passed by Sebastian Vettel in a Ferrari, Lando Norris spins. Track's totally dry now, but that rain's coming soon. And it will not rain again, so yes, we are not going to switch to the intermediates. We're going to run the risk, stay on the dry compound, and I really hope that some of the cars do. Vettel going around another lap, even though he's at 16%. His time should really be down, yet somehow he's still catching up to Kvyat right now. Perez going backwards. What is he at percentage-wise now? 13%, with Hamilton going right by. Perez is pitting this lap. Alright, so sit-rep Vergne still in 8th. He's dropped a few more seconds to Stroll. We're definitely not on their pace. Giovinazzi also getting closer. We're down to 2 seconds is the gap. So 2 seconds the gap. Ocon retaking a position from Kubica. That's for 14th. It's not bad. I don't know how things go here. I could see both cars potentially in the points if we're lucky. right now, Verstappen and Leclerc, only cars out of this race. That's going to give a lot of opportunities for points to drivers outside of the top 6 because you've got those two. You've got Alonso way out of it, Magnussen way out of it, Perez is well behind. So you've got 4 cars regularly in the points, Alonso usually just outside. But then Hamilton's 90 seconds behind. Gasly is 90 seconds behind, and Vettel is 86 seconds behind. So, of the big 6, Bottas is all alone at the front, and that is why Ricciardo is running away with second place right now for a place on the podium. Grosjean, Romain Grosjean in 3rd, Sainz 4th, Hülkenberg 5th, Raikkonen 6th. So this really is a chance for Verne to finish right about 8th or 9th place, depending on what happens between him, Giovinazzi, and maybe Albon. Maybe Kvyat can try to get into it, but depending on what happens, there's a little bit of dampness apparently in one spot on the track, even though the rain hasn't even started falling yet. Now it's starting to come down in different parts on the track, so track is starting to get a little bit damp. It will help with the tire heating a little bit. We're down to... Actually, we're back up to 2.5 seconds over Giovinazzi, so Giovinazzi has dropped back slightly. Ocon drops a spot to Vettel. Vettel's gotten past. Vettel did make his pit stop, as did Perez, as did Magnussen. They've all stopped now, so Vettel, with better tires, is going much quicker. He's on Ultras again, so he's fighting back through the field in 14th. 21 seconds from Verne to Vettel. We'll see if he can come back at us. Both cars are going to have to pit again before the end of this race. That's a pretty big gap, but that Ferrari, over 20 laps, should be able to make up 21 seconds. It's a second a lap faster, but if you remember from qualifying, we were 2 seconds slower than the front runners per lap, so he should easily make it. Bottas with an issue. He's cleared of it though, but he collided with Felipe Massa. Might have caused him damage. He doesn't have a puncture. Neither does Massa as he laps Massa now. So Massa, Perez, both a lap down. Magnussen and Alonso a couple laps down. "20 laps remain. Track is very damp now. Ocon. Oh, Ocon just had a problem. He locked up. He went from 31% to 24% just like that. I think it's time for him to pit. We are not... I don't want to put on the intermediates. This is like the perfect time, though, if you are going to put on intermediates. But then we would still end up having to stop one more time. He's got to stop, and he's got to stop now. Right? And let's see, lap 37. That's a 7-lap window. You know what? Let's do it. Take a risk. Take a risk. Split strategy. I am not going to change Verne. But we're going to try to change Ocon here as he just dropped into that threshold right now where he needs to change tires. And nobody else is in that threshold other than maybe Russell, maybe Giovinazzi. Everybody else is good to go for a few laps. Norris just spun again. That's his second spin. So, Ocon, intermediates, and there you go. We just crossed the threshold into wet territory, meaning Ocon's going to be a little bit faster than everybody else right now. And it's going to take an extra pit stop, but 7 laps faster? How much time can he gain? How much time could he gain? We'll see. He's going to push. He's a lap down now. He dropped to 20th. Let's go back to neutral. Neutral still 8th place. So the gap to Stroll getting bigger. It's up to 18 seconds now. So it's gone from 7 up to 18, so he's lost 10 seconds over time. But he's holding steady, just about 3 seconds ahead of Giovinazzi now, and Giovinazzi is going to pit here really, really soon. The rain already starting to subside. A little earlier than expected. Okay, we ride with Ocon. Ocon has already passed Perez. He's already made his way around Perez. So, Vern, 2 seconds off the pace. Ocon is 1 second ahead of the pace. 3 seconds a lap right now that he's gaining. Up to 18th. And these guys are pitting. Norris is pitting, but he's coming out on the Ultras. Russell's pitting. See, it doesn't make sense now. But 7 laps of this. Perez, drive-through penalty. %. Not long before Vern's going to be pitting. And Gio has a problem. He's gone backwards. And he's pitting. So Gio's out of the way. We now have a 5-second gap to Albon. So 8th is looking even better right now. And Ocon has already recovered to his position prior to the pit stop. And it's still wet. And it's still raining. And he is still gaining time. Next up would be Kubica, and that's 4 seconds. Right now, Bottas is ahead. Bottas has damage and has not pit, but he'll make his pit stop soon. But it could cost him a bit of time compared to Ricciardo. 15 laps. I don't think Ricciardo will make it that long. He might. So could Ricciardo win this race? We just unlapped ourselves. Which actually means we're back into a little bit of trouble fuel load-wise. Go back to not conserve, but save. Vettel locking up. There's 14th place. There's Raikkonen. Not Raikkonen. Kubica. We were just 5 seconds behind him less than a lap ago. Vern, 27%. 27%. He needs to pit on this next lap. And we're back down to damp. We are back down to damp. So we might be sending both guys in here real soon. 14 laps. That's definitely ultra softs. Ocon back to 15th. He's starting to go backwards. So I think we're going to attack. And you're going to pit this lap. Probably should have tried to double stack and sent them both in on that last lap. But he's not losing ground at the moment to Kubica, so that's okay. Alright, Vern is in. Good stop. 3.2 seconds. Here comes Ocon. So actually we are double stacking. And there you go. And there's Ocon coming out. Neutral. Comes out in 17th. So 2 pit stops, right? And he's only lost 2 positions from where he was. And he's got guys around him that are all going to have to pit. Ocon right there, level, good to go to the end. Vern, little bit of spare fuel. But not much. And he's down to P13. So we're going to need these guys to pit to get back up into the points. Vettel is up to P8. Albon just spun. He's down to 11th, but he's still ahead of us. 9-10 seconds ahead. And he might be good to go to the end of the race on those mediums. Giovinazzi just spun. He's going backwards. He's down to 19th. Wow, he was right behind Vern when he was in 8th. So Giovinazzi ran 9th not long ago. Now, Ocon has 1 position left to gain of Massa. Otherwise, everything else is going to take a pit stop or a spin, crash, some type of help. By the way, Bottas did his pit stop, fixed his problem. He's 8.5 seconds behind Ricciardo with 10 laps to go. So, can Vern get back up into the points? Hamilton's going to have to pit soon. Ocon just spun. Ocon just spun. He is still in 17th. But instead of being close to Massa, he lost about 6 seconds. Lost about 6 seconds, and now Norris is right behind him. And he's starting to overheat those tires, so he's going to have to back off. But he does have plenty of fuel, as he has been relapped. Ricciardo just went on by. Second place car is close. He's just behind the train of cars there with him right now. Okay, Vern's the one battling for a top 10 though, so let's see what's going on with him. Gasly just got around Albon, but Gasly's going to have to pit. Hamilton's going to have to pit. I think I'm close enough to benefit from that. Hamilton, maybe not. Hamilton's recovered really, really well from his mistake earlier in this race. And, of course, the bad pit stop strategy. I think he's got enough pace. Vettel's going to have to pit again, possibly. 7 laps. I don't know if Vettel's going to make it 7 laps, but there's a bunch of cars about to pit. Hamilton's pitting right now and fixing a problem. Boy, that was a quick pit stop, though. Oh, we're past him. We are past him. We're going to have a battle for position with Hamilton. Won't be much of a battle, though. He'll be coming quick when he comes. We are 4 seconds ahead of him, and we're up to P11. 2 more cars pitting. George Russell has spun. Hulkenberg. Stroll in the pits. I think they were too far ahead of me, though. They were both well clear of me when I was in 8th place. So Stroll was that next guy. He's down to 8th now as Vettel moves up to 7th. I think Vettel's recovered enough that we're not going to get that position back, meaning now we're fighting for maybe P9, but we've got to beat Albon to get there. We're 4 seconds behind now. Sainz pits. There's Hamilton. So now we're going to be fighting for P10 as Hamilton gets on by. And we're going to have to get around Albon, and we're going to need Kvyat to pit. Vettel pitting I don't think will be enough. I think we're going to be stuck behind him. Hamilton, too quick. He went right on by. Especially as we're on conserve to cool the tires. 4 laps. Ricciardo just spun. Bottas takes the lead after Ricciardo spins. Under pressure from Bottas, who had caught back up to him. And Bottas just spun. Ricciardo retakes the lead. Crazy race. Bottas still might have his number, though. With 3 laps to go, he's 1 second behind. Vern. Wow, look how quickly those tires were heating back up. Problem for Ocon, rear wing. We are not going to stop, though. He's going to stay out. It's 3 laps. And rain beginning to fall. We're going to push. We're going to push here under these damp conditions. Use up the tires that we have for both drivers. Got to take a little risk. We're up to 16th. Massa just pit. Russell should be pitting, but isn't. He'll be slow. Albon, same thing. Should be pitting, but he's slow. Hamilton now between us. Hamilton about to get past Albon. That was them. Just the spray up ahead. That could get us into 10th. That could get us into 10th. Kvyat did pit, so we're up to 11th. But we are 5 seconds behind Albon. But Albon's going to be really slow here on these last 2 laps. We just moved into 10th. Albon spun. Alexander Albon spun. We flew past him there. But that was Albon. We are into P10. We are into the points. We're going to drive conservatively. We need to back off. We need gas. We need fuel. We need fuel. Okay, go back to pushing. Bottas just spun again. Ricciardo pit. He put on ultras, so he conceded the position. Bottas in the lead, though. Okay, we're coming up on neutral. Let's go medium here. Not too shabby at all. Ocon finishes in P16. Vern in P10, and we got 3 seconds to Albon. 3 seconds, that's him behind us. And there you go. We did it. P10. We got a point. We got a point. That's 3 on the season. That is 3 on the season. So Vettel and Hamilton recover to get 8-9 with us 10. Stroll, Raikkonen, the guys we were battling, ultimately 30 seconds ahead in the end. So we were almost 10 seconds behind. We lost another 20-25 seconds in those final 20-25 laps. But Vern held firm, didn't make the mistakes. Albon did. We got around Albon. Kvyat pit. We got back around him. Albon, when he put on those mediums, was good to go till the end. It was a one-stopper for Albon. But his mistake is what got us back around him. Gasly's 3 stops was too much. Kvyat 4 laps. That was it. Ocon really did gain quite a bit from this 6 laps on the intermediates. And I think ultimately it was worth it. He was going to have to pit anyway, and that would have been 19 laps, and he wasn't good to go for 19 on Ultras, meaning he would have been on Super Softs, so he would have been a lot slower. So I think Ocon, it worked out. I think it really did. Now, any scrutineering, could it boost us up a spot? It doesn't. We stay 10th. Vettel gets fastest lap. Alonso, who already finished in last, 22nd, because of the DNFs, is demoted 2 spots, technically 23, but caught cheating. So his bad day got worse. There you go, 3 points now. That makes Vern level with Alonso. And we are just battling it out with Alpine for that 10th spot. And that puts us back ahead at this point. That's going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer. And remember, I'm aiming for the best of the best. So if you're ready to join me on my journey, hit subscribe and tune in next time on my road to the record. Bye for now.